right, guys. So we are here looking at Roku today. We're just going to kind of jump right into this. Fabio and I, we've been doing a little bit of like a preliminary analysis on Roku, just kind of looking at what the business is, what it sells, who the customers are, a little bit of what it might look like in the DCF. So without further ado, we're jumping right into this. And we're going to start by going on to their Roku Channel original series here. So as you can see, we've already got all of the different stuff up here. And yeah, so it looks like to me that Roku is starting to develop some of their own original shows. So I think this is their first original movie that they came out with. Looks like a nice little Christmas movie. You know, I might watch it. And then a couple other things. We got like a Trevor Noah show, and then like a punked one here. And Fabio, do any of these look interesting to you? Does this show look interesting to you? All right, maybe not. What about this one? Does this one look interesting to you? I actually know people that'll probably watch this too. But
sad part is I do too.
And then what about Barkitecture? Would you watch Barkitecture?
Do people really have nothing else to do?
Build a custom luxury dog homes for the furry friends. Oh, that's kind of cool. So they're building dog homes. Nice. What about this guy? He builds smokable creations tailored for stoner clients. Wow. Cool. You can watch this one. Would you watch this one? Would you watch this one here? Hey, I mean, would you watch this one about animals? I'd probably watch this one.
Maybe the only one.
You know,
so far.
Honestly, same. See, you can like watch ones about like you got ants, seahorses, and whatever this thing is. I think that's a hyena. I don't know. And then yeah. So as you clearly see, they have quite a diverse product offering here to start. And then kind of to, just jump into this with the comedic relief aside, what are some of the things that Roku does? Like, how does Roku make money?
Okay. So Roku makes money from about 4 different avenues. A lot of them are connected. So you got your hardware licensing, right? So it's not hardware licensing, sorry, hardware licensing. Those are 2 that basically connected. So the difference between hardware is the actual devices. Licensing is the software going into TVs. Then on top of that, you got the advertisements and the actual streaming channels, right? Advertising streaming channels. So what they're hoping to do is create a flywheel effect. And actually, if I actually pull up the letter to shareholders, we can actually see that language being on display. So they don't really, this is kind of like,
I was about to ask now, how is the pricing for these products looking? Because when I took a look at this initially, I was seeing prices that were, ranging from a range of about $20 for a device that you would buy and insert into your TV, and that would give you the Roku remote, all the way up to 100 something. I think it's 120 or 40. It's somewhere around that number. So,
well, that makes sense.
What do you think about the different like pricing plans here? Like, you think that some of that might serve as a distraction to customers, or that some of that might actually drive growth?
No, you want to have options. You want to have enough options. And so my concerns coming into this is the concerns of Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Google Chromecast. Now, we looked into the YouTube deal, and the YouTube deal was basically a fight for survival in which Roku made a deal with Google so that YouTube does not leave the platform. What does that tell me about the power dynamics, Austin?
Google has all the power in that situation. Then
content creators have all the power. That's why they're building those originals that we showed everyone. So I don't know about the quality of those originals, but I'm just one guy. There's a lot of people. They have about 50 million users of their platform. Maybe a lot of those
56, 50.
Yeah. Maybe some
like
of those people really like that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows?
Everyone.
There's probably, there's an audience for something.
Exactly. So here they kind of talk about the Roku channel. Everything's still going after that flywheel effect. So they're trying to make sure that everything is connected. So the more people go onto their devices, either through the licensing agreements or through the actual hardware, the more people that they can advertise to or even get to watch their or pay for some of their channels, right? And so I think we saw that some channels you can pay like one-time fees or something for it, but they can make money from that. So basically we want to see a greater amount. And also I want to show that this is an example of a flywheel. So, right here, yeah, you see Roku Channel flywheel. So they acknowledge it as such. So they bought a show, The Old House, and then they grew it by 50% because they advertised it. So here's the problem that I see with that. So if you're competing with those who are also on your platform, that could be problematic, because what if they all of a sudden get threatened and then they all decide to leave? So if Roku is just Roku by itself, the Roku original series and stuff, I actually don't think it'd be very compelling. I don't think it'd be very compelling at all. For example, I know there's a lot of people like me. I'm not interested really in most of anything they have to offer at the present moment. Things can change because they could develop in the future new shows that are maybe compelling or interesting for me to watch. I don't really like to watch shows that much. I think they're kind of like a distraction on life. But
That's based.
It's not based. It's true. I mean, you should be doing something productive, not
it's based.
But because they're not really even well, I'm ranting too much. Okay, so anyway, stop taking the fun out of things, Fabio.
Yeah.
So
back to the task at hand, which is this old house. You were describing this.
So they may be kind of competing and threatening their product offering base, right? So the content creators like Discovery Plus, HBO Max, YouTube, all these things, they're all competing for your attention. And if Roku is the platform on which you go on and simultaneously making their own content, they're going to be competing for your attention, and they're probably going to favor their own content over that of theirs. So that may cause them to feel threatened, and then they may decide to simply pull out. And if they do that now, I don't think Roku has a compelling content pool to therefore justify a lot of people subscribing. This is a huge ARK investment. And so you could say that there's somewhat of a cult following because people just follow Cathie Wood, and a lot of people might be just following her into this. We'll take a look at the financials to see if they make sense, because just because that's the case doesn't mean it's a good or bad investment. So we have to separate those two. But however, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, we want to make sure that they're drawing that nice balance between not being too aggressive because they could threaten their product offering, basically. So right here, I see platform and player. So we have a total revenue. So the platform is potentially the software and the player is the device. So this device sales has been slowing down and the platform sales has been growing. The problem with this is that the player will be followed by the platform. So the platform is a lagging indicator. So meaning that it's going to stagnate eventually as the player begins to stagnate, but the player will stagnate first, then the platform will stagnate. Okay, so we want to be watching the player sales because that includes licensing and hardware. And then from there, we want to make sure that the platform sales can kind of like squeeze every penny out. So the platform, I expect them to be spending more money on the platform. So the cost of revenue should be going up and up and up because they're going to be spending more and more on content, right? They're going to get into this expensive game now. And then the player would be about stable in terms of like a variable cost, right? The platform will be more sporadic and the value derived from that will kind of be more difficult to measure because it would bring subscribers and you need to measure the total value of a subscriber over the course of its lifetime. And we don't really know what that is. So without further ado, let's take a look at the price action. No model. No model. You don't get a model today. All right. So take a look. If you had bought this at IPO, congratulations. My heart goes out. No, I'm kidding. So this has been a phenomenal investment over the course of the last 5 years, objectively, based on the current price forms. If you bought back then and you sold today, you've done great. Congratulations. However, if you bought up here, I feel sorry for you. You've been suckered. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But you're down about 50%. But if you bought anywhere over here, you're still up. You're still decently up. So congratulations as well to you, about 100%. However, we're not looking at the past. We're looking into the future. And with that, we're going to go into the model.
Nice. Model time.
So I have preset some growth rates and let's get it. Please give to me the Roku scrape. All right.
So I would guess right off the bat that 7% dilution there that I'm seeing was probably that acquisition of that show, the This Old House one, maybe some share issuance, stuff like that.
No,
actually, it's not true. The this Old House was bought in cash. That's right.
Yep.
So
also, that'd be very silly if they did that. Also, this is probably stock-based compensation and the such. Remember those creators that said if the company doesn't need money, it's not going to dilute. I always bring it up because I think it's one of the most funny things I've ever heard from someone who has like argument from authority, not argument from authority, but people claim this person has some sort of semblance of authority and understanding about investing. Sorry, but an individual once upon a time, some of you may know who it is, said that if a stock doesn't need to, it's not going to dilute you. I don't think Roku needs to dilute you, but they will because it is the lowest cost of capital. So, so yeah, that's basically why. All right. So Austin, you're just staring down at me like I'm some degenerate.
I'm just.
Do you think I belong on the Roku channel? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
My
you
gosh.
should have the Capital Mindset Show should go on the Roku channel.
The Capital Roku, if you're listening, Capital Mindset Show should be on the Roku channel.
Yes, it should.
It should.
Yes, it should be. All right. All right. So we're seeing a PE of 101 and a price to free cash flow of 177.
It's undervalued.
Yes. It's exceptionally undervalued.
It's undervalued. So the whole Peter Lynch saying that if the blah, blah, blah with the peg, blah, 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 you know, that old man, whatever he said back then.
Doesn't matter, bro.
Doesn't matter. The future is now. The future is now. They don't understand growth.
Cathie Wood is never wrong. She's never wrong.
Oh, you see, that's a straw man, Austin. No, you're trying to make fun of Cathie Wood. I'm being serious. See, audience, this is what I'm talking about.
I'm not. Hey, whoa.
This is the FUD that I am trying to fight against.
In my mouth now. I didn't say that. I said she's never wrong. You're implying that I was saying that I was.
I'm not implying anything. I'm saying that you're making fun of her.
You have doubts about her infallibility. How dare you?
I have doubts about your faith in Cathie Wood.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, if you can see here, the analysts say it's a $388 price target, implying a 75% increase. What do you have to say to that? What do you have to say to that? I got the analysts on my side. I got the power of Cathie and analysts on my side.
Hey, whoa. Do not use her name in vain.
Anyways, enough degeneracy for one night. The book value, it's $20.
$20. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, we don't care about the book value. All right, more seriousness, guys. Looking here to kind of comment on what we're seeing here, 50% required rate of return, assuming some dilution, less dilution than what we've normally seen in the past 5 years. It's not looking too good. I assumed a range of 20 to 55% growth. You can see it only returning to me a buy at 55% growth. The growth probably that we can assume is, let's see if it's 51. Yeah, so 51 and above. So will it do that for the next 10 years? Probably not, if we're being honest. 15%, we're implying a decent margin of safety. Let's reduce that to 12% for those of you who want us to be less conservative. So here's a 12%. So this is still market beating returns potentially. And then so based on this and based on the risks that I've stated, the model is telling me that it would be prudent to allocate 1.22% of my portfolio to this investment based on, again, my assumptions going forward. My assumptions could be wrong. It could be growing lower than trend. Potentially it's going to grow up above this trend for a little bit. The cash flows, I'm talking about the cash flows, because as the company experiences some efficiencies, they will have these, the delta between them will eventually converge, right? The delta percent and change of revenues and cash flows will eventually converge. But for the time being, in the short term, we might see cash flows rise faster than revenues. Okay, so I'm talking fast so that we, get to the conclusions fast. Let's go look at some key ratios. So I'm assuming, yep, exactly what I thought. So the liquidity ratio is fantastic. We saw that in the summary report. If you were looking, The model says very low risk of bankruptcy. Well, right here, we can see it with our own eyes. The solvency ratio is very good. The profitability ratio is improving. So what I'm seeing is a good business, something that's been improving. Okay, so some things are getting better. Some things are, about it. Maybe the valuation is a little, questionable. So looking down here, earnings quality, awesome. Free cash flow, blah, 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 book value. Look, book value, $20. It must be a buy. So that's enough of that. Well, let's take some activity ratios. Nothing really stands out here off the top. Yep, looks good. So we covered that pretty quickly. Going to the summary report, I am going to now kind of give my closing thoughts. I want to maybe say some changes. I'm going to pause here. Well, I'm going to make a cut, and then I'm going to come back to you with what the model would have looked like if we were looking at this thing in 2018 when there was a small dip in the stock price. So we'll see you guys right back when that's. So we're back, guys, and yep. And so now I want to talk about real quick, like a quick highlight as to what the heck was going on in 2018. Why do I care about that year? So in 2018, towards the end of 2018, we had a price of about $27. Please remember that. Awesome. Remember that. $27.
I've already forgotten it, man.
Come on, man. All right. So see, this is why you see maybe Kathy Wood has abandoned you. Maybe that's why you doubt her. Clearly.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you?
See, ladies and gentlemen, he's being ironic and funny about this. I'm not joking. I'm not even laughing. All right, Austin. Check. No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. All right. Anyways, sir, please. All right. Going back to the model. But now we're kind of assuming what it would be looking like. Please ignore the don't buy, because the don't buy is going off of today's prices. However, remember, what was the price, Austin?
Did
you unironically forget?
$27.
Okay. I thought for a second.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Like, this
man's pushing it. All right. So
yeah, at
that price, $27, based on 2018's numbers and us making some assumptions on normalization of cash flows going forward, the model actually would have told me that it might have been a compelling price. And back then the growth was actually higher. So the percent growth was higher. So my assumptions may have been greater, right? And so at the $28, $27 range, it was potentially something to look at, I might have been able to make more conservative assumptions on the growth rate for the last 10 years. And, it would have been probably a little bit interesting. But at the present moment, the model is telling me, hey, I wouldn't really touch this. Let's see if yeah. And then going back, we can kind of see what the heck's going on. This is now what it looks like before. So Roku, interesting business, to say the least. However, at the current moment, I don't think I'm going to be a buyer. What about you, Austin?
Now you have abandoned Kathy Wood.
Oh, I've never been with Kathy Wood. I never claimed to be. I'm saying you have abandoned Kathy Wood.
Well, I guess that much is true now, because I don't necessarily think I'm interested in Roku. That doesn't mean, I have anything against Roku or any
Is there
a
price you would be willing to buy this at?
No.
Or you don't know? Okay, so you're not even, okay. So there you have it. So Austin, we need, what we need? We need like sticky notes, or not sticky notes, like a little prize or sign or whatever that says like, like perfect 10. Or
that's true.
Like a
just
turd
hold
one.
Up my my notebook with all my copious notes I've been taking.
No. It's got to be large enough for the audience to see. You know what, guys? Leave that down below if you want us to incorporate like signs. Like we show a sign and we're like not good, or like final judgment rendering of the council.
Rendering of the council.
Yeah, the rendering of the council. That's basically what this is. We're
the Knights of the Round Table.
Well, it's not a table. It's a video conference.
Knights of the video conferencing.
Knights of the video conference. There we go. So I'd say it depends on the price. At current prices, I'm not too comfortable. Look, I'll be honest. Based on what I see here, get it at $50, sure. But otherwise, I'll pass. I'll wait. I'll invest in other things. At $50, I'm comfortable with assuming a 20% growth in cash flows going forward. I'm comfortable with that, which a 12% required rate of return. I'm basically implying a very small margin of safety. And I am still assuming a negative 5% dilution for the next, several years. As the price comes down right now, I actually would like them to dilute more and more and more because in my opinion, the stock price is overvalued. So I think management will do it, and that'll be smart move. And then all that capital they can reinvest into the business and grow faster. And then if the price comes down a bit, then I'll be like, oh, thank you for all that cash you raised and invested and grew the business. And I can pick you up at a cheaper price, or it just may perpetually be overvalued. We don't know. We'll have to see how the market works or how the market goes. If, for example, you're watching in the future and the Federal Reserve has done something that has potentially spooked the market, the stock price might actually be drastically lower as the watching of this video. However, if you're watching this more recently, I doubt that the short-term moves that the Federal Reserve has made such a drastic change. But I think we did see a massive price down already, about 50%, but it could definitely go further. All right. So with that being said, guys, I know I'm talking fast, but it was to try to get this video, not too long. Thank you guys for watching. Again, comment down below if you think we're just absolute degenerates and what we're saying here is, completely wrong. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us your reason for being bullish on Roku, or tell us your reason for being bearish. Have a discussion down there. Be respectful though. All right.
Yes.
You don't have to be respectful with us.
Is the best part.
You can be as offensive as you want towards us. Just be respectful to your fellow commentators. All right. Yes. So you can completely insult us. That's fine. Just not
Fair enough.
Leave the Roku originals alone. Do not insult those. Those are sacrosanct. All right.
Well, you've heard it here, folks. This is the Capital Mindset Show.
No. They don't want.